Goes again. Let's see if it works now. Why does it show nobody in the chair? I'm a ghost. What in the world is going on? That is the weirdest thing. Let's see if anybody comes on here. Let me see if I check on here. That is weird. Yeah, you don't see me. What is going on? Oh, that was my old one.
Hey, everybody.
Let's see if I can get the new one up there. Okay, it's live right now. Why can't you see me, man? This is weird. This is so weird. Somebody please come on here and tell me what's going on. I don't understand this. There's something wrong with my stream? Who's on right now? Oh, I'm the one that's on right now. Hey, okay, White Joe, what is going on with my stream, dude? First of all, I couldn't see you say that except for on my chat. Can you see me? What is going on? Yeah, Matthew's got her. Okay, there, I got it. Can you see me? I'm not even in there, right? Like, do you see me right now? What is going on? You can hear me, but you can't see me. I do not. This is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. That is strange. I rebooted and everything. What? Oh, wait. No, my window capture's off. Video capture's on. Wow, I don't understand what's going on here, dude. I know. What the hell is going on? It won't show up on my thing, man. I have no idea what just happened here. I'm a ghost. Weird. So incredibly weird. I know all this has got is like this picture of this shadow in the background. Maybe I'll try. Okay, maybe I'll just try. Yeah, maybe I did. Maybe I'll just shut my video and turn it back on again. There we go. Okay. That's what it is. Oh, okay. I just had to turn it on and off again. Okay, I never had that happen before. That was a very simple thing. Cam froze. Okay. So, anyways, it's my anniversary today, so I don't know how long I'm going to be on. I'm probably going to go get some flowers for the wife and stuff like that. So, but that's better. Yeah. I never had that happen before, but good thing Lauren comes in and saves the day. Not that I wouldn't have continued. It's not like you guys really care what I look like, anyways. But I should have kept it like that. I could have went and got a T-shirt on and took the tie off and kept on going. So, what do we got here? We got Dennis Cholowski placed on waivers. That don't really matter. Wonder why, though. The Capitals claim Cholowski from Seattle Kraken. I don't think anybody's going to pick him up anymore. Have you watched him play? He doesn't look that great. Like, he's pretty meh. I don't think that you're going to see Dennis Cholowski get picked up by anybody. The Ducks add Scott Niedermeyer to operations. Everywhere he goes, success followed him, and he just smoothly glided around the ice. Yeah, he was an amazing player. Whether or not he's going to be a good in the front office remains to be seen. It just says take on a role, doesn't say exactly what he's going to do. But Pat Verbeek, by the way, we didn't talk about that. The new general manager of the Ducks. He's been working his way up and now has got an opportunity there. And he hired Niedermeyer to join him in the pursuit of another cup for the Ducks. Also, Daniel Briere moves up into the ops department in Philadelphia. Like I said, I don't know about these ex-players that to be like, sometimes it seems to work out, sometimes not so well. I mean, some like Joe Sakic and Rob Blake's not doing bad in LA. Stevie Yzerman obviously is doing fantastic in Detroit and Tampa Bay. But there's been other times when things it hasn't really worked out. But it's almost like it seems to be that it works out about as much as if you haven't played before. So I'm not opposed to having ex-players be there. There's a lot of advantages, I suppose, if they have the mind for a general manager. Of course, they know what players are going through, a little more about what they're thinking and how they look at life and all of those sort of things like that. So, and they have a kind of a neat perspective on agents and the way they view things too. So I don't mind it. I'm a little concerned when it comes to Philadelphia about bringing in guys like this, though, because I just think that they need to stray away from the ex-player stuff there. It just hasn't worked for such a long time that it's, maybe Daniel Briere is the one that is okay. Hey, Hockey News Reports. Maybe Daniel Briere is the one that works, right? But so far, every time they've taken an ex-player, Hextall, Clark was the worst of the bunch. I'm telling you, Holmgren, it hasn't worked. And now you're going to bring Briere up and prime him up. Hey, Brian from Sports Entertainment. Brian Sports and Entertainment. I keep on meaning to watch some more of your content. Like I said, but you have to do something too. If you want to do like a collab or something like that, comment in one of my videos and stuff, and we can work something out together. Seattle claimed somebody off waivers, did they? Couldn't have been too significant, especially when you said somebody. So like, oh, they took Austin Chernick. Well, that's interesting. Gives them some speed. They got a lot. He's very fast. He's not very big. He lights it up in the minors, but he never does very well in the NHL. He started in Boston. I believe he played a while in Calgary. And now Marcus Johansson and Cal Yarncroc are probably on their way out for some picks and stuff. So Charnock can get a chance to get some NHL money, and Seattle's not too worried about whether they win in the future here now, so it takes the pressure off him. And you never know, he could be one of those late bloomers. But his offensive upside in the NHL has not been good. Every time he's tried he hasn't been able to produce very well in the NHL. Size being the main component and reason why that is the case. He's just not a big guy. He's got tons of speed, but it's hard for him to get to the spots to score. But interesting that Seattle would pick him up. Like I said, I think they're going to be picking up a lot of guys like that and moving a lot of guys out at the deadline. I really think Seattle's going to be grabbing a lot of draft picks, as many draft picks as they possibly can with the players they have, and retooling all over again. So something that's been coming up a lot has been Vancouver. And if there's one team that I can't really get a read on where they're going there, I don't know much about Matthews' injury. He got hit in the head, so that could be terrible. It could be okay tomorrow. It could be, I have no idea. He got knee to the head, so. But Vancouver is one of the more interesting teams going into the deadline. And Rutherford, like usual, gives mixed messages. He's like, well, we're focusing on making the playoffs now and all of those sort of things like that. And I suppose that's what you got to say. And maybe you do have to say that. All I know is if it's me, I'm treating that like, I don't know. If I could get rid of Myers, I would. I don't know if there's anybody out there that would be willing to take him or what you would have to do to retain or whatever. But I'd want to restructure that whole roster. Aside from Peterson, Horvat, and I still think Peterson's going to be great. Do you know that Vancouver fans are calling for Peterson to be traded and keep Miller? No, sorry. No. Miller, I would trade Miller out. I know he's been a good vocal guy there in the room and all that kind of stuff like that. But that team should have been rebuilding the whole time. They shouldn't have been picking, like, Benning just messed that rebuild up completely. They need to reset and get back to the rebuild they were always trying to do in the first place. I believe that. I don't see how that team does anything different than that. I don't know if he will do that, but why would you do that? There are not enough prospects in that organization to build around yet. What'll happen is you'll end up having a team like the Islanders at best. That, you know, you burn your veterans out to the playoffs and then you run out of gas over and over and over again. It seems that the modern day NHL, the most important thing that you really need, and if you look at the most successful teams, is depth. Solid guys that can move into the lineup at will at any time as much as you possibly can. If you don't have that, teams don't seem to have success that don't have it. Bruins versus Penguins tonight is going to be a great game. I'm not sure who's going to win that game. Is it Malkin out with COVID now again? I really don't know. I wouldn't be touching that game with a 10-foot pole, to tell you the honest truth. Penguins showed like they were tired heading into the break. Did they get their rest now and come back strong? Boston looked like they were a little tired going into the break as well. It's a weird game because both teams really have a playoff spot kind of. Both teams really have a playoff spot set already, so I would lean, like, Pittsburgh is more of a team that plays to make the playoffs and then kind of take it easy after that. So maybe I lean Boston here, but honestly, I really don't know. Yeah, Dickinson could be traded. Shen could be traded. I mean, you're not getting much for Luke Shen at this point. So I personally probably wouldn't trade Luke Shen. They don't really have anybody like him in the lineup right now, which is bad. I mean, Luke Schenn is not that great of a defenseman in the league anymore, but that's how bad it is in Vancouver. Like, that roster flat out sucks. And you can say, okay, well, they've been playing so much better since Bruce Boudreau came in. But that's more of a testament to Bruce Boudreau and the energy he provides for a team. I'm pretty sure Bruce Boudreau is in the office with Rutherford going, I don't know what we're going to do with this team. We're not strong enough on our D line. Our offensive depth is okay, but you know, we need penalty killers. We need stronger bottom six. There's so much that team needs. And I really couldn't care less if they make the playoffs. What does it matter if you make the playoffs, really, right now? What does it matter if that team makes the playoffs? Personally, if they go on a bit of a run and they just ride out the energy like that Bruce Boudreau gives to teams, he's shown to do it over and over again, and they're like in it close to a split playoff spot at the deadline, does that mean you don't trade away guys for picks and retool this team? Not for me. I couldn't care less if they were almost in a playoff spot or not. That team's not going anywhere in the playoffs anyways. And that's the way I view it myself. Unfortunately, sponsors of teams don't view it that way, but if I'm an owner, I don't care what my sponsors think. Sorry, I want a dynasty level team for the future. And the only way I'm going to get that is there's only certain ways to do that. Vancouver just making the playoffs this year does nothing for that team. Nothing. So, yeah, the Lightning signed Maroon to another $1 million $1 million a year for 2 years. Look at the brain on Maroon, right? Like, he could have signed for more money somewhere else, but he would have moved around all over the place probably. He probably would have been traded a couple times by now, then left on the market, and but he stuck with the team that could win the cup every year. He took a league minimum to be there. He took less money to be there, and now $1 million contract, still making really good money, but he's able to make NHL. He's able to be on a Stanley Cup team every year. So what's the value on that? I mean, he could have made more money by now. Patty Maroon probably would play in the top on the third line on a lot of teams, maybe even second sometimes. Probably could have pulled in look at guys like Gaudreau, and he probably could have pulled in another $1 million a year or something like that, but no, he went with. He has 3 cups in a row. He's got that forever because he chose to take less money and be on a cup team. Probably he's been on some commercials and made some money, and he looks at things outside of the box for sure. Yeah, Team Canada won last night. I haven't even watched any Olympics this year, not even hockey. If it's on, it's on. I should really watch more. I'm not really an Olympics person, so. Oh yeah, Austin Rogers. Wow, hey, that's one of my Facebook buddies too. Yeah, I mean he'll have. Pat Maroon will have a job with Tampa Bay Lightning probably forever, right? He took less money to stay there to begin with. He could have had more money elsewhere, but he took less, and he'll probably have a job with Tampa Bay forever. Logan Brown, and who else was it that signed with St. Louis? Oh, it was what's his name? Why can't I think today? Not Bertuzzi. Bertuzzo. Signed a couple guys to little contracts. Logan Brown, yeah, he left, got pissed off at Ottawa because they wouldn't play him. Now he goes to St. Louis where they sign him to. Basically, he's like a 13th forward now. Big, huge guy that just won't use the body to save his life. It's so frustrating to watch. Like, it's hard to watch a guy that has talent, that's 6'6", leave a check on the table. Like, not check his man, not body check, like, not take the man, not take a hit to get the puck, all of that kind of stuff like that. A perimeter 6'6" player, yeah, he's got some passing skills, but I mean, he's never going to make it in the NHL if he's not willing to take a hit at 6'6" in the NHL. He just looks stupid out there. Seriously, it's like I'm not surprised Ottawa did what they did. And then he whines and complains about it, and they're like, "Okay, we'll take you to St. Louis. The same thing's going to happen there." And sure as heck, they have given him a 1-year deal because there's so much potential in the guy, but the guy won't take a hit. If you knew that you could pull out, like, okay, you're 6'6", you're a big guy, strong. If you knew you could pony up at least $1.5 million extra a year, wouldn't you, like, take a body check every once in a while or throw one when you got a chance? Like, even just 2 or 3 a game. Seriously, what motivation more do you need to play in the NHL than to body check? What does he think he's going to be? He's not Joe Thornton. That was who he was compared to when he got drafted. Was a Thornton type player. He's not. He doesn't have the skill for that. The guy's got to use his body, and he just refuses. He just refuses, or it's not in him. Imagine having NHL level skill and being 6'6", but having no desire whatsoever. To take the body on anybody. It's weird. It's very weird. Yeah. Previous years, I don't know. I don't think they're any. I think they're better than they were last year in the regular season. Last year in the regular season, they played down to their competition way more than they did this year. Which I don't know if is good or bad with Tampa Bay. Like, they're not a great regular season team. So they do well as far as wins and losses, but not as well as they probably should for the roster that they have. Almost always, I hate taking Tampa Bay as a professional handicapper against like the Ottawas and stuff like that because they consistently play down to their competition. Drives me crazy. Last year, I was sitting here all year saying that these guys are going to have to turn it on in the playoffs and just turn it on because they didn't turn it on all last year. Like, most of the time, Vasilevsky was bailing them out of games all last year. This year, they're playing better in front of them. Does that bode well for their playoffs? I'm not sure. Maybe the whole trick is to just coast through the playoffs and turn it on. Like, they're the only team I think in my memory that I remember that I've seen do that at that. It was crazy ridiculous last year, Doug. Yeah. They're the only team that I've seen in my recent memory that was able to look that bad in the regular season and just turn it on when they needed to and boom, like that. So, I mean, they've been okay. It does appear that if they get down, they're just like, whatever, we'll win the next game. There seems to be they seem to have found a balance to conserve energy for the playoffs. Like, I'll tell you what, the Nashville Predators, I'm worried about them because they are in a battle every time they play. Tampa Bay's not. Tampa Bay's not in a battle every time they play. You want to beat Tampa Bay in the regular season, just start making them fight right off the get-go. Just push them around right away. Like, Tampa Bay versus Ottawa, from now on, I'm taking Ottawa every time. Because Ottawa's going to go in there and just elbow the crap out of them and punch them and fight and stuff like that. And Tampa's like, I don't want to do this crap in the regular season. Forget it. I couldn't be bothered. Like, and that's the other thing too. Without Vasilevsky, that team is done. Like this year was Elliott, last year was McElhinney. Is McElhinney that bad of a goaltender all of a sudden? Without Vasilevsky, that team is freaking useless. And they, in the regular season, anyways, I guess they just found that balance where. I guess they just found that balance where they, they can just turn it on in the playoffs. They did it last year. It's not a recipe that most general managers or coaches would go with. That's for sure. Just all of a sudden turn it around. When the regular season starts, I mean, make sure you're hitting that like button, everybody. Get that like on fire. Just fire up that like button. Elliott's not a very good goaltender, and McElhinney was probably better than he was last year. Like, it ended his career. Let's put it that way. Yes, McElhinney wasn't great, but Tampa played horrible in front of him, and Tampa played horrible in front of Vasilevsky lots last year. It was like Doug said, it was ridiculous to watch. It was absolutely ridiculous. It's frustrating. It's maddening. If I was a fan of the team, one of the things that I think Tampa could learn to do, they could learn to start booing. They could learn to start booing in the stands. If it was me, I would start booing Tampa Bay. You guys pay good money to go watch them float around like they don't care every once in a while. When they decide to play, they're almost unbeatable. Like, when they decide to come in and play against just about any team, they're almost unbeatable. But it's amazing how many times that you can see like two different Tampa Bay teams. The one that comes in and has effort is almost unbeatable. The one that comes in and is like, whatever. We're in the playoffs now. We'll just pass up the middle, see what happens. If that doesn't work, then we'll just call it a day, fly to the next city. Like, it seriously seems like that's what they do sometimes. Stamkos, Cooch, Hedman, and Point off the rotation the last 2 weeks of the season. It certainly seems like Cooper does that. Like, it's like, hey guys, relax. You know what? We're in there. Don't kill yourselves today. We're here for the playoffs. It works. They've won 2 in a row. They're going on their 3rd. What are you gonna say? I can bitch about it all I want and say it's maddening all I want. But the fact of the matter is, he seems to have the magic elixir for these guys being able to turn it on like that in the playoffs. I've never seen anything like it. It's amazing. I don't remember the Edmonton Oilers ever being like that. I don't remember Detroit Red Wings ever being like that. I mean, I don't remember any of the dynasty teams. New York Islanders definitely were never like that. I don't remember any of the dynasty teams being so poor in the regular season sometimes like that. Like, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I doubt he would be able to do that. He wouldn't be able to get away with that. Just take him out of the rotation. I don't know. Maybe you would. I'm pretty sure you get a call from the league that you're not playing your best players to save them for the playoffs. Although that tells you a lot about the way Cooper thinks, and could say a lot about how they play in the regular season like that. Well, ever since, and let's face it, ever since they won the President's Trophy that year, right? And then they lost to the Columbus Blue Jackets in the first round. Ever since then, ever since that happened, this seems to happen. Now, I have heard players say that have won cups a couple times, and there has been players that are kind of like that. Claude Lemieux used to vocally say out loud, "Call me in the playoffs." He used to drive his players crazy. He was like, "Call me in the playoffs." Like, he literally did not care about the regular season. He said he would rather just not even play the regular season and then come in and play when the playoffs start. And there are players for sure, after they've won a cup or two or have gone far in the playoffs, that they'll say that it's hard to get up in regular season games. But you got to make it. You know, maybe it appears that maybe Cooper's like some mad genius that is able to find that balance and make sure that you're not, you know, overexpending yourself in the regular season, so you've got more juice left for the playoffs than other teams. I know the New York Islanders, for example, could probably learn how to do that a little better, but they don't have the depth to do it a little better. However, Tampa Bay, all their players seem to play all the time. It's just sometimes it's almost like John Cooper sits there going, "I know you guys are tired tonight. Don't worry about it. You know, just put out, just do the best you can. If we got to throw this one away, it's okay. Get some, you know, don't overextend yourself." That's what it looks like he does. And if he does do that, I don't think that's ever been, that's unheard of. I've never heard of that before. Yeah, but I mean, I wonder if they're going to try to now upgrade. That's the other thing. Tampa doesn't even try to upgrade their goaltending, backup goaltender position at the deadline. Elliott is terrible. If Vasilevsky got hurt, Tampa Bay's done. But who are you going to get to replace Vasilevsky or even come close? Which, honestly, okay, if you took an average goaltender and put him in Tampa Bay, do you think Tampa Bay wins a cup? On paper, you would think that they would, but Lauren comes in about the 4 power plays, but they didn't get one. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really notice where the refs really missed any calls on Toronto last night either, but yeah, absolutely not right. Which means that I think 5-on-5. You look at that roster, and they should be able to. Is what I'm trying to say. They shouldn't need a Vasilevsky to win the cup with that roster. They shouldn't need a Vasilevsky, but they do. So they rely so heavily on him. That's why I said, like, when Marc-Andre Fleury, who is my favorite player in the league, won the Vezina that year, I think I said Vasilevsky should get the Vezina every year. Every year. Maybe Shesterkin this year. But they just rely so heavily on him. And especially that year where Fleury won, it was ridiculous. Like, they they relied so heavily on Vasilevsky that year. I swear to God, an average goaltender was in there. They probably don't even make the playoffs. It was brutal. I guess it seems like that he does something like that. I don't think he flat out says that, but it seems like he doesn't. I know there's been a couple times when I saw him spitting mad because they played so poor defensively, but not often enough. I don't see why Ben Sher. I just did a video. I haven't put it out yet on where Ben Sherratt will go because he's definitely going to get traded by Montreal. And I don't know where he'll go, but I feel sorry for whoever gets him. I don't know. I'm on the fence. The guy is bad defensively and bad offensively. He's not. He's if somebody is acquiring him to put him in their top four, obviously they don't look at any analytics whatsoever. And I don't even know how you watch the guy and see, and not see that he's not that great. He's not that great. They joked around all game in the last 3 minutes, just scored for one. Yeah. Ben Sherratt's not a very good defenseman, no. Yeah, like that lineup is absolutely, especially when Kucherov is in, that team should be winning. They should be setting records like Colorado. But like I said, ever since they did that 1 year, ever since that 1 year where they won the Presidents and they broke records, it seems like they just changed their philosophy and said, you know what, we're not going to do that anymore. We're going to make sure we make the playoffs. We're so good that we can take some night offs, and that's all right. We're going to save. We're going to save our energy, I guess, for the playoffs. And you can not like it all you want or say whatever you want. The fact is, they did it. They did it. They did it last year. They saved their energy. They didn't play great in the regular season. And when it was time to turn it on, they freaking did it. So yeah, Peyton is live streaming. I may be on with Peyton tonight. It is my anniversary, so I'm not 100% sure, but we're not really. We're doing some on the weekend anyway, so I might just hang out, do the stream or whatever. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. But yeah, it's funny. I'm glad you came in because we haven't really talked about Tampa Bay for a while. What's Tampa Bay gonna do at the? I don't know. Like, does Tampa Bay really need anything? I don't see why they would get Ben Sherratt when they already have a Ben Sherratt already. He's just not in the lineup right now. In Bogosian. So, I mean, you got Hedman, Ruda. Ruda's having an underrated year this year. McDonough, Sergachev, Darren Radish. I mean, he's not going to be playing in the playoffs, but when Zach Bogosian comes back, who's the other lefty there? Who am I missing here? Calfoot is right D. Maybe they would look at it. You know, I don't know. I mean, they had Savard last year and they didn't even freaking need him. Because Savard wasn't even that good he wasn't good all year last year, not in the playoffs and not this year. I imagine they'll re-sign Palat, yeah. What are you gonna get? You think I don't think that Brisebois or Brisebois. I don't know. He picked up Bogosian. I don't get Tampa Bay sometimes. Like the Savard was really good defensively up until last year, and he was terrible. And they won a cup, and he wasn't even good in the playoffs. I personally would just roll with what you got. I mean, if you could win with Savard in your lineup last year, you can probably win with whoever you're going to throw in there this year. And some general manager out there is going to throw a first-round pick for Sherratt. I wouldn't want to throw a first-round pick for Sherratt, that's for sure. It would be interesting to see him blossom at 26, but I don't know if I see Radish as that good of a player, but we'll see. I think he's more of a 5-6 guy. I think he's more like a 7th defenseman. I think that's what they'd be. I like his brother as a forward better than the defenseman, Brian. He's already 25 years old. He's not really crushing the AHL. He kind of seems like he's going to be like a tweener defenseman. The forward I like. A little more. I don't think he's going to be like a top sixer or get lots of points for Tampa Bay or anything like that. But, I mean, they've been grooming Darren Radish for quite some time. He had 4 assists in 27 games for the Syracuse. Like, he's a defensive defenseman, and he's okay at that. His brother now, Taylor Radish, like he's not going to be a top 6 guy either ever. But I could see him definitely be a third-line winger or something like that down the road. I like him better. I like Taylor Radish better, for sure. I think he's got more upside myself. Joe from Montreal. Which Joe are you talking about? Perry had 13 goals, yeah. Yeah, well, I think you need to re-sign Palat as well. I think like the Radish brothers are the forward is better than the defenseman. I'm up in the air whether the defenseman has a full-time NHL career, to tell you the honest. I think Cal Foote has a better chance than Ryan. So that is his name, right? I get the two mixed up all the time. Taylor is the forward. Darren. Yeah. You said it wouldn't work? Oh, Corey Perry's going to work wherever he goes. Corey Perry's one of my favorite players ever. Why didn't you probably thought Corey Perry wouldn't work because he hated Tampa Bay so much when he played Montreal? Is that why? Because if that's why, then Corey Perry hates the opposition. He doesn't care what jersey he's wearing. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He can switch teams and he'll hate the team he just played for just as much as he did the one that he. That's what I love about Corey Perry. I love him for that. Look at Lemieux. I love guys like that. Lemieux, like people get mad at Lemieux because of some of the stuff he's done in the past, but he went out and played the Rangers and he was freaking when he went out and played, when he used to play for the Rangers, and the first time he played for Rangers, he was fighting with all the guys he used to play with. I love those are the guys I want on my team. People, Brady Tkachuk and Matthew Tkachuk, I love them both. And if I would have them both on my team, but I know for sure those guys will fight each other somewhere down the road. Because it doesn't matter. I want guys on my team, like if your grandma's on the other side, you're done. See ya. I don't care who you are. I don't care who you are. That's one thing I love about Tortorella. Tortorella is the same thing. I don't agree with Tortorella about having fun and doing trick shots and all that kind of like those things like Trevor Zegras did, where I don't know what he was talking about, that nonsense. So that's fine to me. But I do want a guy that if Trevor Zegras does do a move like that, I want you to pummel the crap out of him. Pummel him. And I don't care if it's your brother, your father, or whoever on the team, if they're wearing another jersey and they're on the ice, you beat the living bejesus out of them. Sorry. That's what I want on that's the kind of team I would want. I would have Brady Tkachuk all day, Corey Perry. Plus, you got to be able to play, too. I don't want just guys that can do that. But, yeah, for sure. I knew Corey Perry. You put him in Tampa Bay, and he plays Montreal or Anaheim or whatever. He's going to be just as much of a bastard as he was when he was on their team as he is against them. And that's what's so great about Corey Perry. Marchand, I love Marchand. You take Marchand out of Boston, put him on another team, and he plays Bergeron, and he would be just as much of a pain to Bergeron as he was when he was playing with them. I'll take Marchand all day. It's just something we should do sometime. We should work out a team. If you could take a player from every team, a player, and make a team. Elliott's gone. Elliott's retired. Probably not Ruda. I'd be replacing Ruda. If you can get a better defenseman, I don't know. Palat, I would definitely hire, though. I would definitely sign Palat. It depends how much money he wants, but. But yeah, I should do that. I should make up a team. I would have Brady Tkachuk, Matthew Tkachuk, Corey Perry, Marchand. Who's my center going to be? Gotta think for center. Yeah, he's at the end of his career all right now, Jordan, probably, for sure. He's like a fourth-line center now. He's had a good career, but starting to fade now for sure. That's the one thing Carolina doesn't have that I think they got to find. They got to find their Corey Perry, their somebody like that. They need a little more hate on that team. A little more hate. I don't know who that would be out there, but yeah, Matt Murray is getting, ever since they brought him down to the AHL, he has been a lot better for sure. No doubt about it. That was a nice move in their part. Send him down like that. Who else would I put on that team? I love guys like that. My all-hate team. The all-hate team. Stone's a guy like that. But those are all wingers. What would my center be? McKinnon. McKinnon's like that too. McKinnon. There's not too many centers that you can put in that category. It's weird. Like a ball of hate. Scheifele, McKinnon, Perry, the Tkachuks, Imagine trying to play those guys in the playoffs. And Scheifele, by the way, doesn't take penalties a lot, but he's still a ball of hate. Wilson, oh, love Wilson, love, 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 love. I don't know. I can't really say until he comes to North America, and he's got to make that transition. So, some guys do it like effortlessly, and some not. Bo Horvat, there's a good one, buddy. Mark Brown, thank you very much. There's a good one. Bo Horvat. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Bo Horvat is a very good one. I love Bo Horvat. How come I missed that? Jonathan Toews when he was good. I would actually put Sidney Crosby there too. Sidney Crosby. Patty Maroon, I'd have on my fourth line. Boone Jenner. Boone Jenner's another one. Love that guy. Miles Wood Miles Wood is a good one. Robert Hagg probably is getting traded, yeah. You think if you acquire Robert Hagg, you're just getting a depth guy. You probably wouldn't be taking a sponsor on anybody's roster. Ovechkin, yeah. No, I would definitely have Ovechkin. When he's really in his element, he hates a lot. He's a pretty good at hating. Yeah, that would be a good one too. I didn't mention him, but yeah, for sure. And we haven't even got to defensemen yet, but they're more known for that, so there's more of them, I would think. Like Radko Gudas. Nah, Miles Wood probably isn't getting traded because he's injured too much. He's not that bad defensively. He's after Barry. Really, when it came like Barry Trotz said that when because he got his reputation by not being a two-way guy before Barry Trotz. But the truth of the matter is, he was told by his coaches not to do that. He was told by the coaches to float and to leave the zone because that shot is so amazing that they found that there was greater value in him taking the risk to blow the zone than there was to play defensively. And then Barry Trotz came in, and actually, I don't think he's that bad. I don't think he's that bad. Yeah, it's too bad. Yeah, but look at there's a guy like Furlan. That's the thing. Oh, that another one, by the way, Connor Garland. Connor Garland would be on the team for sure. I know there's more Europeans like that. Oh, Sundqvist, St. Louis, Sundqvist. He's like that. There's more Europeans like that too. I want to give them props. A lot of the European guys that got a lot of hate in them too. I love Brad Marchand. I love Brad Marchand because people hate him. I love Wilson. I love Marchand. I love all those guys. I love Maroon. I love all of those guys. I wish we had one of those guys in Edmonton. Does he really have that hate on for players though? I don't know. I know Rocco Grimaldi used to, but they sent him down to the minors. You do. Blay is a good one, yeah. There's probably Sundqvist in St. Louis was really good. Oh, Cassian. Yeah, I guess. He's lost that though, dude. At one time, yes. But now he doesn't really do anything. He's terrible. Cassian is just horrible on our roster now. He doesn't do the things he used to do. I don't know if that hand is just never going to be the same or something. You know, at one time he was like that, but now he doesn't do much of that anymore. Yeah, I'm off of that game. I don't know what Mike Smith is going to look like. I know the last time he came back, he didn't look good. Is he fully healthy now or not? I'm leaning Tampa Bay in that game, or I'm leaning Vegas, but I think I'm just going to lay off of it completely. Maybe the over, but Lehner has been really good on the road, so it's probably going to be Vegas in that game winning. Well, there are some guys like that, and the guy I just got, like Connor Garland, is one of those. But he backs it up physically too. Like he doesn't back down from anyone. He's not one of those guys that just talks. Like he's the first one to aggressively piss you off. He's looking to get some penalties out of your butt. But he's willing to back it up as much as he can. He's not that big of a guy, but he's freaking courageous, man. Yeah, Tristan Jarry versus Swayman. I don't know. Jarry's been here. Like he started out well, and now he's. I don't know. I can't say what he's going to be. I can't say what Pittsburgh is going to be. I'm off that game. I don't know. They just lost 3 in a row. You would think they get some health back. Yeah, I like Seth Jarvis he's not really an aggressor, but he doesn't back down from anybody for sure. Yeah. Yeah, it's annoying, but it's uh it's a way to draw penalties. Garland, I don't know if he would fight. Depends on who it is, but I don't know if he ever played. The whole point. I don't think those players really care what you think about whether they don't drop them or do drop them or not. All they care about is that they give up. You get the penalty and they don't. That's all they care about. And it's annoying, but it's effective, unfortunately. Hey, CL, how you doing, buddy? I might be doing something with Peyton, but like I said, it'll be the Vegas game with Edmonton, and it's my anniversary today, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do it or not. So isn't Philly doesn't play till tomorrow, right? What happened with Philly? I thought I heard something about Philly. Since we have our double-digit concurrence, woo! What? There was something about Philly. What happened with Philly? I can't remember what it was. You should know. 20th. Oh, wow. We're on our 8th. We're gonna do most of it on the weekends. I mean, but we haven't really did. We have so much fun every day that it all feels like it's like, you know what I mean? I don't know. We'll see what happens. She gets off work. I think she'd rather do it on the weekend, and we're going to be doing some stuff on the weekend. So. Yeah, versus the Wings. I mean, Yo looks like he's got that team playing with some confidence now. He's done it everywhere else he's gone, so it wouldn't surprise me if Philly goes on a bit of a run. And maybe it's not even good that happens, but it wouldn't surprise me that he does. Risto and trade talks, I just can't see why anybody would trade for that guy. I don't know why the Leafs would want to do that, but maybe, I guess. Briere, oh yeah, that's what it was. Briere got, and that he could be like some brilliant guy like Sakic or Eiserman or whatever, but how many times are you going to go down that freaking road of taking X players to be your general manager before you realize it just ain't working? Like, that organization just does the same thing over and over and over and over again. I would like them to go completely off the board and get a young mind that has never been part of that organization, that has a totally different view of that organization, that just throw all your old ways of thinking right in the trash and start all over again. That's what I would like to see the Philadelphia Flyers do. But it doesn't look like it's going to happen. They just keep on doing retread stuff over and over and over again. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know why anybody would want Rasmus Ristolainen. Maybe you're right. Like, maybe you're right. I don't know. The other ones were older guys, so maybe Briere has a whole new vision that is different than anybody else. And if that's the case, like, then great, I guess. But I would just like to hear them say Daniel Briere's got a different view, different vision than we've ever had before. I'd like to hear that and see that. And then fine. But that's not what you hear from them. I don't want to hear, we're keeping the tradition of the Philadelphia Flyers. No, we're not in the 1970s anymore. Your tradition up until now has been crap. Stop it. Enough. No more traditional Flyers. Crap. End it right now. We're starting new completely with a new philosophy and new everything. That's what I would like to hear. Wouldn't you like to hear that? A new philosophy after 15 years of garbage. Maybe we think something differently, like way differently. John Cooper was a public defender, was he? He was a lawyer. Oh, okay. He plays what? Okay, honestly, I haven't seen him play all that much. He reminds me of Ben Sherratt, which we've been talking about all day. He's not great defensively, he's not great offensively, but he can bring pain. He's got a bigger shot than Sherratt. He does have a big shot, a big shot. And I mean, he's got all the tools, he just doesn't have the head. I don't know if he's ever going to come around to just playing a simple game. He could though. Goodbranson, look what he's doing in Calgary right now, and that took him like a decade to get to where he is right now. So big rumblings in New York. Drury talk. What the heck with that trade? Why would Scheifele? This is now the third time I've heard this Scheifele stuff. Oh, thanks for coming in, Austin. Love to have you, buddy. Awesome. This is the third time. They seriously are going to think about trading Scheifele? Oh. I could see Wheeler, but let me look this up. I mean, this is fun to take a look. Who the heck? I don't want Strome. Like, if they're gonna take if they're gonna get Scheifele, let me look this up. If they're gonna get Scheifele, cap friendly. Let's take a look at what. I can't even remember how old Scheifele is now. I just find it so hard to believe he's been so central to that. But then you got a new, you know what? You got a new general manager there. No, same general manager, new coach. And, you know, we know everything that happened with Lion A. And Lion A saying that there was he's only 28 years old. He's a UFA in 2024. I don't know. I just find that very hard to believe. But yeah. There better be another prospect. Because that is a pile of garbage for Scheifele right there. If I'm trading Scheifele, I imagine they're looking for defense, and Lundqvist isn't going to do it. You're giving me Schneider. Like, I'm going to want Schneider for sure. Where's Keandre Miller from? They got to watch. Oh, maybe Keandre Miller was part of that deal because he's from St. Paul, Minnesota, and that would be closer. Like, I'd want like Miller. I don't want Hedl. Hedl's done nothing since he started. Like, he's 22. He's got upside, I guess, but Ryan Strome is going to be a UFA. I mean, he doesn't make it any better. It's going to be defense for days. That's what it would be. And they already made that, you know, they made the deal with Jacob Trouba before. But I want Keandre Miller and something else, a first round pick, and I liked Hedl, but he just doesn't seem to have the offense. And they're gonna, like, what are they gonna play for a center now? The only way they do that is if they're going to, like, just blow it all up. Are they really going to think that Andrew Kopp is going to be their number one center? I can't see it. I just can't see it. I think somebody's making stuff up. I just can't see Scheifele going anywhere. He loves it in Winnipeg, and it's so hard to find guys that like playing in Winnipeg. I know they need help on defense, but trading Scheifele for a defenseman leaves them with no center, so now you're trying to find a center. Maybe they have somebody in line in free agency that they could get as a center, and then they could trade Scheifele for a defenseman, but it's got to be a damn good defenseman. Like, damn good defenseman. Where's Schneider from? And it's also got to work that you know that they're going to be happy to be in Winnipeg. That's what makes it so tough for the Winnipeg Jets. Acquiring players is that... Oh, wait a second. Schneider's from Prince Albert, Saskatchewan. Okay. And Scheifele, I believe, is from Ontario. Mark Scheifele is from Kitchener, Ontario, yeah. I would say Schneider would definitely be part of that deal. Schneider or Andre Miller or both. Maybe I would take Andre Miller and Schneider off your hands for Scheifele, so I can finally solidify my defense in Winnipeg. And maybe I'll give you like Dylan DeMello, so you got a defenseman for the playoffs. I could see possibly Joshua Morrissey, but they need to restructure their defense there. And then in the offseason, maybe they got a line on a free agent that they think that they can actually get. But Winnipeg never can get free agents, so I don't know. It just seems so unlikely. Free agents, let's see. They got free agents here. It's not going to be Claude Giroux. Not Pavelski. It's not really any big, like, number one centers, unless they think Cole Perfetti is going to be a number one center sooner than later, soon. But I just think it's highly unlikely, my friend. Unless Scheifele himself has said, okay, I want out now, behind the scenes maybe. But besides that, yeah, doesn't make any sense to me. He's been part of the fabric of that organization for a long time. I haven't heard one iota of him wanting out of there. Although, yeah, I just can't see it. You would give Miller instead of Lundqvist. Okay. What do you guys not like about Miller there? I think that could be a huge mistake. I love Andre Miller, so. But, I mean, I think it's going to be like, it's going to be big for Scheifele. He's 28 years old. He's still got a couple of years left on his contract. It's going to be big. Otherwise, I wouldn't even do it. Like, I wouldn't even think about it. Unless it was like a monster package. Like, what are you going to get in the Vinny Trocheck? Like, I just can't. Maybe they think Dubois is the number one center there now. They're going to make Dubois the number one center. And just improve the defense like crazy. I mean, it's not like totally out to left field. As long as they really totally upgrade their defense though. Because as it stands right now, that defense is terrible. Yeah, he's young though. He's big. He's solid, but I mean, he's too delectable of a package to pass up on. I would yeah, but I wouldn't do it straight across. It would be Miller plus. Miller, would I take Strome or maybe Miller Strome, but then you got to sign Strome, so he's got to be okay with signing there, and I'm not sure if that's the case. So you got Miller, Hedel, and that Russian guy who's putting up pretty good numbers. So they no longer have a number one center unless you're going to call Dubois that. Then you sign Kopp, and you kind of go by an offense by committee, and now you got a better defense than you had before. Maybe. I guess it would really depend on how much they like that Russian kid. What's his name again? Why do I forget him? I know he's putting up good numbers. I know he's putting good numbers up. Kravtsov, yeah. I was just looking up his numbers right now. Yeah, you'd have to look into why Kravtsov really wants out. I heard it was just because he was promised that he wouldn't be sent to the minors. And then they did, and he was like, "You promised me you weren't going to do that, and now I'm out of here." Which is a little immature, I suppose, but if they promise, they promise, I guess. I mean, 13 points in 19 games in the KHL is pretty good, but for a 22-year-old, I guess. I mean, it's not like blow your mind good or anything like that. It'd still be up in the air whether he would be able to play or not. So, if they really, really, really like him, maybe. Yeah. But Keandre Miller's speed, his offense, his mobility, his everything. Maybe he's not going to be the most physical player in the world, but he's going to be one hell of a good defenseman. And maybe that's it. Maybe I just find it very hard to believe they give up on they trade Scheifele. It's so hard to believe. I haven't heard it from anywhere else. Let me look it up. I haven't heard it anywhere else. I know if I put this up in Winnipeg Jets land, they would like lose their mind. They'd be like, you guys are just making stuff up. February 4, 2022. This is NHLTradeRumor.com, which I don't even know. I know of the site, but I don't know how good it is. The Winnipeg Jets have disappointed season. Okay, the Winnipeg Free Press says that Scheifele looks disengaged and disinterested, especially when it comes to key aspects of the game such as puck management. His body language is troubling, and even his rare media appearances are head scratchers. Oh my gosh. McIntyre went on to say a change of scenery might be in everyone's best interest. Wow. Shifley would provide a great return of assets since he is a. Oh, he would be an amazing return of assets. I just can't believe it. Wow. That's the first I heard of that, but I didn't know. Ah. Let's see if we can find anything else on that. That's cray cray. Okay, so that Shifley trade talk was from the Rangers group. Oh, does he not have a no trade clause? The list of 10 teams he cannot be traded to. Okay, that's not that bad. Wow. That would be mind blowing if Shifley got traded. That might be my next video I do then. Because I imagine there's no way that somebody mentioned the Boston Bruins, although I don't think the Boston Bruins have the pieces necessary to get a Shifley. It would cost them pretty much everything they got. I mean, I'm not going to take a DeBrusk and crap for that. No. I'm not going to take like Charlie Coyle, DeBrusk, and a bunch of nonsense. But the thing is though, it just so doesn't make sense. Why would he all of a sudden be like that? It's just all of a sudden be like that. Maybe I like it, that. This is weird, very very weird. But I mean, if he's available, there's going to be a lot of people knocking on the door for him for sure. It's certainly not going to be just the Rangers. Now that I think about it, like that offer is not going to do it. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if he'd be willing to go to Calgary. If that would, I don't know who would be on his no trade list. I'm not sure, but New York Islanders would be on in there. Minnesota Wild, maybe. Boston Bruins, maybe not Florida Panthers. St. Louis Blues might call, but I would think the St. Louis Blues would be on there. Carolina, there's a good one. Carolina, you want that kind of guy, Maybe Carolina, Philadelphia. I mean, so many teams would be in there. Shifley. If Shifley is, for some reason, I just read, like, he looks disinterested. It could be a bunch of nonsense, but I don't know. Blues got some goalie leverage. Oh, okay, yeah. They're not going to do anything at the trade deadline, though. The Blues. They'll be happy to have two very good goaltenders going in the playoffs. Canes don't need Shifley. If Trocheck's willing to sign for Winnipeg, they're going to need a second line center. Like, you wouldn't take Shifley over Trocheck? I would take Shifley over Trocheck all day long. Three goalies. What's the third goalie? Lindgren isn't that great, dude. I mean, they might trade Lindgren, I guess. I don't know, but oh shoot, what am I doing? I don't think, yeah, I don't think Colorado really needs him now that Kadri's doing as well. Yeah, I would take Scheifele over Trocheck all day long, dude. All day long. Trocheck's all right. I mean, he's a good passer and all that, but if you had Scheifele in Carolina, you'd be very, 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 very happy, I think. I don't think they're going to resign Trocheck, so. Columbus Blue Jackets, like, oh, imagine that. Imagine if he got traded to the Columbus Blue Jackets after they got Dubois. I don't. His analytics are defensively are fantastic. I couldn't care less about his plus minus. Honestly, I couldn't care less about his plus minus. He plays against the other team's top line constantly. He is their shutdown center and gets almost a point a game. His defensive analytics are fantastic. His expected offense is amazing. I would take him all day long. He never takes penalties, but he still plays tough. Like, I take him all day long. Yeah, I don't think Vancouver either. I mean, Miller, get Miller back, I guess. I have to think about that one now because I never thought that Scheifele would ever be on the block. I never thought that Scheifele would ever be on the block. I wouldn't even think about it. Wouldn't even cross my mind. That would be one huge trade, wherever he goes to, though. I'll tell you that. Oh, it was. You know what I think about that hit. You know what I think about that hit. Yeah, Evans was an idiot. You're not supposed to come out from behind the net when you got a guy bearing down on you like that. The guy didn't even look. Instead of making the play for the puck, you hit that guy in that spot, Lauren. That's what you're supposed to do. You're not worrying about playing the puck. Are you kidding me? You don't even think you hit him. I don't know about you. When I grew up, you hit that guy. That's it. Like, I'm not even thinking that guy's even going to be stupid enough to come around the net. If I'm coming down on him like that, I'm doing it so he has to think so he doesn't come around in front of the net. If he wants to, great. I'm smoking the crap out of you, dude. Sorry. Yeah, what do you mean if you got a gaping net? You're not worried about whether you're going to be able to, like, I don't even know what to think about a guy coming out like that. You're not supposed to come out like that. If Evans looks up like you're supposed to, like you're taught to do from the time you're 5, no, it doesn't matter if you got a goalie or not. It don't matter. It don't matter. Even more so, you got to come back fast if there's no goalie there because you want that guy to think he's going to get smoked if he comes out in front of the net. That's why you do it. Yeah, he's trying to put a game away. That's why you come back like that. So he has to look up and go, oh no, I got a choice here. Either I'm going to get smoked hard or I'm going to put the game away. So I better go back the other way and try to wrap it around that way, which is the more difficult thing to do, which is what Scheifele is supposed to be doing in that spot. Let me tell you this. When I played, if I didn't come back like Scheifele, I wouldn't play. My coach wouldn't play me the next game. If you're just going to coast back or you're not trying to get the puck in that situation, you might as well not even try. You're not going to get anywhere. Evans didn't know that Scheifele was coming because he didn't look. You're supposed to look. You're supposed to look before you make that play, and you're never going to get me to change my mind on that because you are supposed to look. The league made that out to try to, the league didn't like the looks of it, so they kind of backpedaled in their teaching. Go watch all the guys from Spit and Chicklets and stuff like that, what they had to say. Those are all players who saw that and said, that's ridiculous. Evans made a huge mistake. And he did. So, yeah, I don't care. Evans made a huge mistake. And Scheifele shouldn't have got suspended one game. Not one game. I don't think so. Never heard. Evans was up for the what's it called? He had like 2 or 3 penalty minutes all year long. He never got penalties. He got 2 or 3 penalty minutes all year long. He's one of the cleanest hitters you're ever going to find. And I still say to this day, I don't know what to do in that situation. Seriously, I would like to, when they sit him down, they say, okay, when a guy is stupid and doesn't look before he comes out in front of the net, you can't hit him that hard. That's what they're telling him. He didn't leave his feet. He didn't head for the head. He didn't do, and he gets suspended for that. So if a guy is stupid and doesn't look up while he's coming out from the other net in that play, you got to make sure you don't hit him too hard. That's what they're saying. Lady Bing, yes. He was up for the Lady Bing. Like, it's ridiculous. Going back to that again, I did videos on it when it happened, and I haven't changed my mind about it. And Peyton and I got at it. Peyton and I got yelling at each other about that one. The Lady Bing, yeah, that's it. Yeah, along with Norris trophies, yeah. So anyways, I don't know. Maybe he is a jerk as well. Like if this is happening, because I know Lion, one of the people that he called out when he got traded was Scheifele and Wheeler both. So Evans, you gotta look, man. Now I went over that over and over again. Evans looked over his shoulder before he made the turn around the net. But, I mean, you're not going to see who's coming. I don't know. I look up when I'm behind the net because I expect somebody to coming down on me in that spot. Then I will cut to the other side and try to score. If I saw Scheifele coming down there, I'm not coming around that net. No way. And that's what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to come down to make you think twice about taking the easy wrap around in that spot. And if you're going to reach for the stick and try to get the puck and stuff like that, you might as well not even do it. Because the odds of you doing it, that's not the odds on play there. Yeah, just no. Yeah. And if that's the way the league wants to go and be and stuff like that, I'll do this up until that point. You might as well just take hitting out of the game, and then I won't be doing this anymore because that game will be boring as hell. A lot of trade rumors today. Okay, let me know what they are, buddy. Throw them at me. What are the trade rumors for today? What are some trade rumors for today? This one has got me excited. Scheifele going somewhere? That's going to be amazing. This is the reason why I don't have a job at Sportsnet. That's the only reason. Imagine. Nick Kyprios also has a podcast, and he was saying he doesn't work for Sportsnet anymore. And he was saying this is why I don't work at Sportsnet anymore, because of crap like that. Because if it was Nick Kyprios, he would have been there saying Scheifele didn't do anything wrong. Yeah, Hurdle. What's San Jose gonna do? I don't even know what they're gonna do now. If they trade Hurdle, then they gotta trade everybody, and they can't trade everybody because there's so many untradeable contracts. If you trade Hurdle, don't you have to trade Meyer? Now, if Hurdle's asking to leave, you trade him to the Rangers for Strome and a pick or something, and then you're worse next year. I guess that's all they can do. The more I think about the San Jose Sharks, the more I think that the only thing that they can really do is just suck as much as they possibly can while Carlson and everybody is there until they bitch about it enough to say, okay, well, what are you going to do about it? We got an $11 million contract. I think at this point, they got to fire Wilson. They got to bring in another general manager and basically have the other general manager say, look, you signed $11 million contract. It didn't work. Tell your agent to find a deal that's going to make sense so we can move you somewhere else. But who's going to take that deal? Yeah, Kevin LeBanc could be injured forever, from what I understand. His injury is really bad. That injury is really bad. Yeah, Kevin LeBanc's injury is really bad. I seriously have no idea what to do with the San Jose Sharks. I really don't. They got a couple young guys coming up, but I don't have any idea. I do have an idea. That's the only thing I can think of. I would trade Hurdle, and I wouldn't take anything back in return that can play much next year. I would try to get picks and prospects. Same with Meyer. You get a huge with them. And then, yeah, your veterans are going to be mad at you. So what? Sorry. What else are you going to do? You guys are not even close to being a playoff team. No, you can't trade Burns. I don't think so. Who's going to take Burns? He's like 37 years old. Can't buy him out. Logan Couture. What do you do with Logan Couture? Logan Couture. You probably would be able to trade Logan Couture at even that. 37 at $8 million a piece. Somebody probably would take Logan Couture though. Might be able to do that. Timo Meyer, for sure. Hurdle, for sure. Just trade them all. And then you just got to deal with the fact that Carlson and Burns are going to be pissed at you, but too bad. Burns is a UFA in 2025, so 3 more years at $8 million a year. Just wallow in the fact that we're rebuilding and retire, I guess. I don't know what else you do. I don't know. The only other thing you can do is keep Pearlo, keep Meyer, and just keep on drafting the best you can every year and hope that you catch lightning in the bottle and get some really good players like they did in, what's that, William Eklund, right? They sent him back to Europe, didn't they? How's he doing there? 23 points in 40 games. I mean, it's not bad for a kid his age. You know, that's the only thing I can think of. Ozzy Weisblatt, that was another guy they got in the late first round. What was that? 2020. And he's barely putting up a point a game in the A. That's not good. Western Hockey League now. He's not that big of a guy, like maybe a fourth liner or a small fourth liner somewhere down the road. So they don't have all that much to build on there. I don't know what they would. The only thing I would trade everybody away that you can. And then I would tell Carlson and Burns to get their agents on the phone and see if they can find a deal that makes sense. Because I can't. I call up by the general manager and they're like, "We can't take that contract. What are you gonna do?" I mean, Carlson is good enough that he can help out a team, but at $11.5 million a year, ain't nobody taking that contract. Nobody. Can't buy it out. I don't even think you might be able to retain maybe. Maybe that's all you got. I don't even know if anybody would take Burns with half the money retained. I don't even know if they would do that. Yeah, trade Benino. I don't know if anybody, like, he's got 3 more years. Even if he was $4 million a year, I'm not sure there would be anybody. And Carlson, you would have to retain like $6 million for the next 3 years paid to somebody that. So you're not even going to be. You're not going to be relevant for the next 3 years, anyways. Maybe that's the best thing to do. At $6 million, Carlson has value. But, I mean, how long does he have left on that contract? It's ridiculous, too, isn't it? Isn't it like 8 years or something? And then you got Marc-Edouard Vlasic, too, yet. Wow. Just an absolute disaster. 2027, 5 more years at $11.5 million per. Unbelievable. You almost got to hope that he doesn't come back, that his career is over. He has a career-ending injury or something like that. Yeah, I'm sure they're trying to trade Vlasic, but nobody's taking that contract. On most teams, he's a 5'6" defenseman for the next. Yeah, they got to be in the worst spot in the NHL right now. They can try to trade it all they want. Nobody's taking that contract. Those guys are there. So I think the best bet. I think the best thing they could do. No, nobody wants Vlasic. I think the best thing that they could do is trade Meyer, trade Hurdle, trade everybody. Just suck real bad. Hope to like tank like you as much as you can possibly tank. Make sure you don't have a good goaltender. And hope you can get like Berard and go from there. Berard or Michka and go from there. And the only thing bad about that is, I hate to mention this again, the San Jose Sharks ownership have sponsors that keep that arena open. If you do that, they're going to lose their mind. They're going to lose their freaking mind. So they're in a terrible spot. Yeah, trade Aiden Hill. I mean, trade Reimer. Just use like Martin Bowl. Trade for Martin Bowl. That just imagine how brutal that would be for Carlson and Burns and those guys to know that you're in a rebuild and the team is pretty much tanking while you're getting, your career is pretty much. When Carlson signed that $11.5 million deal a year, I was like, I hope he likes that extra $0.5 million he's getting, because almost for sure that team is going to suck hard. And sure enough, they are. He could have made a lot of money already, but no, Clayton Keller doesn't want out. He likes it there. Amazingly, he likes it in Arizona. He doesn't want to leave. Arizona will I don't know what they'll do. Armstrong is the most Gosh Despear probably will have to go, but he really likes it there and he doesn't want to go, so he's got to balance that out. He doesn't want to piss guys off, so Kessel will probably go, but I mean, they're probably going to have to retain money to get a pick out of him, because he started out well, but he's starting to fade now. And he never was known for his conditioning, so and then Chychrun. Chychrun's going to be the big move. If they are serious about trading Chychrun, then Gosh Despear will go too. Like, they are really going to tank hard. I don't know how they're going to keep the cap floor, though. Try to make some deals like I said for that Giroux three-way trade. Probably Nick Schmaltz, yeah, all of them. Trade everybody. Have nobody left in the roster. Which would be great for capping. Which would be great for capping purposes. Yeah, I think that's likely what he's going to do. I mean, if they're going to trade Chychrun, I can't see why they would keep Gosh Despear and everybody there. Now, unless, of course, it was Chychrun that said that he wanted to go. A lot of general managers, if somebody says they want to stay, they don't like to trade them, because it's such a delicate balance for the future when you want to sign free agents. Like, word gets around. You want to make sure your reputation is that you take care of your players. Otherwise, you cannot get free agents. Like, they're just not going to go there. If you treat players like they're cattle, it gets around, and when it comes time to go for it and sign free agents, they won't sign with you. So, yeah, probably O'Brien, I guess. I mean, I don't know who's going to take him, but anybody that shows like any indication that they want to go, and maybe even the people that don't want to go, he just seems to be on a mission to grab as many draft picks as possible and build that team right up from the ground up. So, like, it's funny, I just heard that Gorton saying that Montreal's not going to like do a scorch rebuild. He says we're not like a market like Arizona where you can do that. And I don't understand that. Again, I think that's a sponsorship issue. Because you're not going to lose fans in Montreal. The fans are going to show up. First, he's got to get back from injury. He's injured right now, so I wouldn't say he's on the. So Montreal apparently is not going to do a scorched down rebuild. So what does that mean? Like I said, Ben Sherrod for sure. Petrie for sure is gone. That relationship has gone completely sour. Who else? I don't know. Like, if you're not going to do a scorched down rebuild, you're going to keep Suzuki. You're going to keep who? Who are you going to keep? It's not that far away from being a scorched down already, anyways. You're going to keep Hoffman? No. I mean, of course, who wants Hoffman? Drouin? Toffoli, I guess. Keep Toffoli. That's going to be very interesting to see what they do. Montreal and Vancouver to me are going to be the most interesting teams in the deadline. I want to see what direction that they go. I want to see how many players. If you're not going to do a scorch down in Montreal, I would have to think that means you keep Toffoli, because that means that you need to have enough that you can be competitive within the next 2 or 3 years. I hear Arturi Lehkonen is as good as gone. Toffoli would stay, I suppose, and Josh Anderson. If you move Sherratt and Petrie, then you're going to have to replace them with who? I guess you keep Dvorak, you keep Drouin, and pick a couple picks in the next 2 years and then add free agents, I guess. In which case, you definitely keep Price. And after looking at all that, do you think that you got a contender? I just can't see it. Joel Armia, probably. It would seem to be, I don't know. Look, Gordon did a pretty good job with that quick rebuild with the Rangers. So that's what they're banking on. That's what he was hired for. They want a quickest rebuild as they can possibly get. He is a guy that uses a lot of creativity to make his moves. Now, I would have to imagine that the trades he's going to make, then he's going to want to get, like at the deadline, he's going to want to get young players that can't help a team right now that wants to win right now. That's what I would have to think. He's looking for teams that want to win right now, that have really good young players that are going to be ready in 2 years or so, but would be worth it if they thought they could win a cup with the player that Montreal is going to give up. I don't think so. I don't know. I mean, any players that can give them that is who they would likely trade. That's a tough, so you got Florida, Kierstadt, maybe for Sherratt. I mean, that doesn't really move the needle all that much. I think in order to get something like that, you got to trade Toffoli. Now, who's going to want Toffoli? If you're going to want to get a good young player that can play like right now, he's young, but he can play right now. So you're not waiting 5 years for players to develop. That's what takes a rebuild so long, is that players take so long to develop. So you got to find guys that can play now. No, the Leafs don't make sense. It's a tough. I mean, it's a pretty tough. task to do what Gordon's got to do. And then you sign free agents that are fairly young and can play right now. I don't know what but anyways, guys, I gotta go. It's 3:00. It was fun talking to you. I'm gonna head out. Thanks for coming in, everybody. I may be on tomorrow. We'll see. But this was fun. We'll talk more. We'll talk more about more trades like how we always do, and teams and the games and everything tonight. Have a great day, everybody. Tomorrow, we'll see if I'm on. I'll give you a notification. Have a great day. Okay, bye.